Hello, my name is Michelle Weegee Gunaratna. I am the Curatorial Research Associate in the Modern and Contemporary Art Department at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Today we're going to look at a painting by Edvard Munch called The Dance of Life, which Munch first painted in 1899. What we see here in this rather large painting is a scene on the Norwegian shoreline. This is the summer, it's nighttime, and what we are looking at is a group of people who are dancing. In the foreground, we see a man holding a woman dressed in a beautiful red dress that swirls around his feet. On either side of him are two single women. If we look at the girl on the left, she's a young girl wearing a beautiful white gown, and she's looking longingly at the two figures in the middle. On the right-hand side, we have a woman dressed all in black, her hands clasped in front of her. She gazes at the two figures in the middle. She is much older, and so she watches a dance that she can no longer participate in. There's a clear division between the types of landscape: the meadow in the front, and behind it we have the water and then the sky. And these form three broad horizontal bands. What draws our attention is the vertical nature of the figures in the foreground. And in the background, we see a lot of other dancing figures who swirl around as they are captivated by the music. There's a lot of movement in this image, and even though we can't hear the music, Munch has given us a sense of it by the movement of the people. Munch was very interested in the use of color to express emotion. The girl in the white, her dress represents simplicity and youth. In the middle, we have the woman with the beautiful red dress. The red dress represents love. On the right-hand side, we have a woman dressed all in black who is no longer participating in this dance of life. Munch spent every summer staying in a place near Oslo called Asgardstrand, so it's very possible that this kind of a summer dance was something that actually happened in Asgardstrand. It's possible that the figure in the foreground, the male figure, is Munch himself, and that perhaps the woman is one of the women with whom he had a relationship. Munch was born in 1863, just outside of Oslo. He wanted to be an artist from a very young age. Munch's mother died when he was 5 years old of tuberculosis, and his father was left to raise 5 children by himself. The family suffered another blow when his elder sister Sophie also died of tuberculosis. These events affected Munch very, very deeply. Seeing his mother die and then his sister die was something that made him very melancholy. At the beginning of his career, Munch painted in a very realistic style. Munch made a trip to Paris, and he must have seen many Impressionist paintings. He was involved with a group of bohemian artists and writers and musicians. He starts to incorporate these ideas into his own artwork. Ordinary people couldn't relate to Munch's paintings, and neither could the critics. It wasn't until much later in life that critics began to see that Munch was a very radical artist, that he was a very innovative artist. And indeed, Munch keeps coming back up to contemporary artists today who look to Munch because of his radical painting technique. Munch was not afraid to show the difficulties of modern society, and he was not afraid to show emotions on the canvas. This is a modern painting. It was a modern, very modern painting when it was painted in 1899. But it still looks very modern to us today. because it discusses themes that we can relate to. The themes of youth, of grief, the idea of a dance. It's just a dance on a meadow on a beautiful summer evening. But of course he calls it the dance of life. And so we see the idea that we are really just here for a short moment in time, enjoying the dance of life.